The Philippines for decades have suffered from a never-ending energy crisis. People, especially in rural areas, continue to agonize with the lack of electricity. Philippine businesses are unable to maximize profit due to overpriced bills. What can be the solution to this crucial problem?
The DOE has recently issued a circular amending the implementing rules and regulations of the Renewable Energy Act of 2008.
Renewable energy is a source of energy that is clean and harmless, since it can naturally be replaced after a significant amount of time. Apart from the fact that it is environment friendly, renewable energy has the potential to aid the energy crisis of our country through sustainability. So, if renewable energy can help us solve energy crisis, why is it not being utilized in the country?
The World Bank talks about up to 50,000 jobs, good paying jobs for Filipinos if you are successful in developing this new sector. That will require some adjustments and policies on the Filipino side. For instance, foreign companies should be able to own a majority of the equity in these kinds of investments, as they often are investments with several billions of dollars, and foreign investors would like to have the certainty of having a majority stake in their investment. But if the Philippines is successful in this endeavor, as I mentioned, they think thousands of jobs can be created.
As mentioned in his interview, there was a lot of Norwegian renewable energy companies that want to invest in the Philippines. However, they are hesitant because they are not allowed to have majority stake of their own companies. This is because of foreign ownership rule. The foreign ownership rule is basically a policy that requires foreign businesses to give up 60% of their businesses to a Filipino in order for them to operate in our country. The answer to that question is, it's not that simple. According to our economic teacher, the government simply cannot amend this law because of a dilemma regarding our GDP. This is because if we provide a majority stake to foreigners, it will weaken the growth of our GDP, but on the other hand, we will also have more employment since foreigners are now free to invest in the country. Alternatively, if we don't give a majority stake, we will at least still have a bigger share, which will instead strengthen the growth of our GDP rather than weaken it, but simultaneously lessening our job opportunities.
Aliviado. I'm currently connected with Energy Regulatory Commission as Attorney 4.
So, overall, in your opinion, is the Philippines open to foreign investments or not? If yes, how? And if not, why not?
Definitely, all the efforts and actions that have been implemented by the Philippine government for the past years and even the past administration, we are really gearing towards that direction. As I have mentioned earlier, there is what we call as power generation mix. So when we say generation mix, we source out our power from diesel, from coal, as well as from renewable sources. and this power sourced from renewable energy is currently at 22%, and the Philippine government is targeting that we'll be able to have a mix of at least 50% share of the renewable energy in the generation mix. So definitely in that sense, I would say that the Philippine government is really up for the expansion on these projects and development. So, and I think we all know our limitations. Foreign investments will definitely give in much contribution in terms of development and expansion in terms of this area.
So if giving a majority stake to foreigners is bad for our GDP, according to our economics teacher, um, if giving a majority stake to foreigners is bad for our GDP, then why do other rich countries do it, such as the US?
I would not say that necessarily it's bad, but the every state must only strike the balance. No, the DOE in this case of renewable energy project sees that the country has a vast potential in renewable energy development, and that the government expects higher investments in the sector that will create much needed jobs. Critics, on the other hand, say that the full foreign ownership will be what do you call this? Will be detrimental to Filipino-owned companies, but the government, through the DOE, in particular, sees it otherwise.
Okay. So what may be the long-term effects if we are able to bring in foreign renewable energy? Then what may be the long-term effects of those to the country?
Long-term effects of renewable energy.
Yes.
So, the top of the list would definitely be less global warming. Diba? There will be less global warming, considering that renewable energy is clean and safe as compared to diesel, coal-fed power plants, etc. So these are considered to be unclean. Because diba, may mga emission yan. However, but just the same, the government is still regulating that. We have the EMB, we have the DENR, we have the water board, which regulate all the pollution that is being created by these plants, power plants, etc. But definitely, at the end of the day, renewable energy would still result to less global warming. So also this would give the country more energy independence, more stable costs, and finally, as I have mentioned earlier, it will provide more jobs for the local community.
Okay, sir. So we're down to the last question. So, do you think renewable energy will sustain the needs and can exceed the expectations of Mindanaoans to help them grow as a community? How so?
Definitely is. The renewable energy development, most especially on its expansion, will definitely lead to sustainable growth. So, siguro on a more narrow scale, since you limited it to Mindanaoans, first thing would really be more cost efficient cost of electricity, and more jobs for the locals, the much needed jobs for the locals.
However, despite how bad it sounds, it is not all negativity. In fairness, the government has made significant actions, especially in Mindanao, intended to boost renewable energy in the country. One big example is this hydroelectric power plant in Maria Cristina Falls, located.
Thank you, sir. So the first question is, if the foreign ownership rule is the only thing stopping renewable energy from entering the country, then why can't the government just amend or revoke this law?
Actually, truth be told, the Department of Energy, or the DOE, has recently issued a circular amending the implementing rules and regulations of the Renewable Energy Act of 2008, which now allows 100% foreign capital in renewable energy projects. Particularly that is Section 19 of the IRR, or the Implementing Rules and Regulations, which had previously limited foreign ownership of renewable energy projects to 40%. And this said DOE circular, which it issued recently, now paves the way for foreign nationals and foreign-owned entities to explore, develop, and use renewable energy resources in the country.
There is some room to expand our present power supply through existing power sources, but this is only to a very limited extent. We must build new power plants. We must take advantage of all the best technology that is now available, especially in the areas of renewable energy. Our search for new power sources should always be with an eye to improving the mix of the energy supply between traditional and renewable sources. The technology on renewable energy is progressing rapidly, and many of these technologies are appropriate for the Philippines.
So that's the plan for the future for Norway in the Philippines, really to increase our imprint on renewable energy in the country. I mentioned to the President-elect that according to a study by the World Bank, a roadmap on offshore wind for the Philippines, which we think will be an important new sector in the country, presents great opportunities for the Philippines.
The project of Maria Cristina Falls is one of the prime examples of the effectiveness of renewable energy and how it can help the country. The hydroelectric power plant provides a huge portion of Mindanao's electricity supply, gathering 70% of its energy. This statistics alone immediately proves the importance of renewable energy and how it can help the country. Again, renewable energy is not only abundant, but it is clean and safe for the environment as well. Therefore, without this project, what would Mindanao? Despite the positive sides previously shown in the government side, the Philippines is still not close to achieving complete energy. Despite the huge supply being provided by the projects such as Agus IV Power Plant, millions of Filipinos continue to live without electricity. Therefore, so many people, including us learners, continue. Should the government allow majority stakes to foreigners? How does the government plan in achieving complete energy? How long and how much should people suffer from the energy crisis before the country can completely sustain its energy needs? If we shift to renewable energy, how will this affect our relationship with other nations business-wise?